So referee Eddie Claudio calling the two men together to give them their final instructions.
Okay, date quieto. Todo esto es legal. Murat, all this is good, okay? Good morning, gentlemen. I went over the rules with you in the dressing room. I expect a good, clean fight. Obey my commands and protect yourself at all times. Buena suerte, Udachi. Let's get popping.
Well, when punchers of this caliber are paired together in the confines of the boxing ring, it's tantamount to placing nitro and glycerin together in a small container. Who'll withstand the imminent explosion as these two knockout artists prepare to get it on? We're underway. For the second successive week, the World Boxing Super Series is delivering another World Championship Cruiserweight Unification bout. This one, again, between undefeated Cruiserweight World Champions, scheduled for 12 three-minute rounds, but I can find nobody in the trade or the business who thinks it's going to go that far. The man wearing the black trunks trimmed with gold is the KO doctor from Havana in Cuba, fighting out of Miami, Florida, Yuniel Dorticos, the WBA champion, 31 years of age, a perfect record, competing in his 23rd professional contest tonight, 22 fights, 21 wins, inside the distance. And he said in no uncertain terms at yesterday's weigh-in that he is going to kick Gassiev's posterior and he's going to knock him out before the end of the 5th round. The man in the black trunks, trimmed with the patches on the legs and the word iron, pronounced iron, in his native Ossetian language, is Murat Gassiev, being forced onto the back foot in the early stages. Both men listed at the 6'3" mark, according to the tail of the tape, but if you believe your eyes, Dorticos looks just a little bit taller. Man who has just taken a seat alongside me is a 2016 Olympic heavyweight champion. At 91 kilograms, Evgeny Tishenko. He's not working, by the way, he just got himself a prime seat here in Sochi, Russia. Another one of the outstanding fighters making up the fighters in attendance here ringside. Triple G Gennady Golovkin's in the house. Roberto Duran is here as Dorticos in aggressive mood trying to pin Gassiev to the ropes. Gassiev content to 6 square and take a couple of hard shots to the body. Dorticos incessantly on the front foot. His right hand was long. That left hand to the body is the shot that Gassiev used to book his place in this semi-final when he took out Krzysztof Wlodarczyk. There's a hard right hand from the right flank from Gassiev. Dorticos headhunting somewhat. Gassiev content to box on the back foot, something we haven't seen from him too often, as he scores with a hard left hand to the body already. The left forehead of Gassiev reddened by those right hand bazookas. Oh, there's a good counter right hand from Gassiev. Leaned back, then beat Dorticos to the punch. Terrific counter from Gassiev. And the crowd here trying to raise their man, a lead right hand out of the orthodox stance before he changed direction. Terrific action in the first 3 minutes.
Maria, abajo, arriba, abajo.
Within range, give it a little feint to stop him, okay? You see what he does. Ты его толкаешь назад, дёрни его и обмани. Get ready. Just make sure that he doesn't get a chance to get started. Just even if he's attacking, just a little feint. It's good you're moving. Find the spot. Good body shot there.
So some of the action from that opening round. This is where Gassiev retreated to the ropes and allowed Dorticos to help himself to a good left hand to the body. Gassiev came back with his own offense as the round progressed. The most eye-catching shot, that right hand single counter. So into the second round we go of this Cruiserweight Unification World title bid, the second semi-final of the World Boxing Super Series. Alexander Usyk, the WBC and WBO champion, here on a reconnaissance mission, getting an up-close close and personal look at who he will be facing off against in the final in Jeddah. Dorticos swinging freely with that right hand as he is prone to do, but make no mistake, he is no mindless slugger. Came through the vaunted Cuban amateur boxing system. 259 bouts in the vest and head guard. Won himself a national title at the Schoolboy Championship, 3-time silver medalist in the senior ranks. And if you get that far in the Cuban national championships, well, make no mistake, you're one of the best amateur boxers, Olympic-style boxers in the world. Good right hand to the body from Gassiev, really planted his feet into the canvas and twisted from the waist to get some leverage onto that shot. Dorticos still bombing away, upstairs then downstairs, pursuing his man around the ring. Both men making the second defenses of their titles. Remember, Dorticos took out a Russian in spectacular fashion when he knocked out Dmitry Kudryashov with a single solitary right hand in San Antonio to book his place here in the Final Four. And he's been in a buoyant mood all week. Good jab from Gassiev. Gassiev bobbing and weaving, but again retreating and coming totally square on the ropes. Still remaining composed though. Gassiev, in stark contrast to the lengthy amateur career of Dorticos. He got through with a good right hand to the body, then followed with a left jab. Just 25 contests in the amateur ranks for Gassiev. He said that despite that minimal amateur experience, as he lands another hard right hand to the ribcage of Dorticos, he's targeted that area repeatedly. He said that all of that counted for nothing when he answered the bell as a professional for the first time. Good left-right to the torso from Gassiev once again. Dorticos following him all around the ring, both men with their eyes locked on one another, looking for openings. Beautiful double left hand from Gassiev. It was a hook followed by an uppercut. And normally, Gassiev moves forward with the intent of a man who knows that the fight will be over as soon as he catches up with his opponent. But here, he's demonstrating good back foot boxing skills. Oh, good right hook, checking the chin of Dorticos, but he stands firm and steps right back into the pocket to unload his own offense. Another right hook, left uppercut success, crashes home on the chin of Dorticos, but he barely blinked and continued to march forwards. What a round! Big shots to end that round from the fist of Murat Gassiev. Some of the fantastic punch picking towards the end of the second round from Gassiev. Terrific accuracy around the corner with a right hook, following up with a ripping right left uppercut through the middle. But Dorticos, my goodness, against a vaunted puncher, he showed no response whatsoever, other than to remain on the front foot and go in pursuit of his man. Into the third round we go of a cruiserweight unification bout that has started at a terrific pace. Gassiev landing with some heavy eye-catching singles in the closing stages of the second round. Gassiev facing his fourth opponent with a perfect record tonight. It's 2-0 in those contests, with one no contest, because when he faced off against the undefeated Isaiah Thomas, who was 15-0 at the time, he landed a shot after the bell, which diminished the capacity of Isaiah Thomas, according to the doctor who was ringside. Arcing right hand from Gassiev is a good shot, but still. Oh, another right hook, and how many more of these can Dorticos continue to absorb? And on the flip side, what will that do to the mind of Gassiev? Because like most heavy-handed hitters, will he be touched by the curse of the puncher if he continues to tee off on an opponent and they do not fall? He's been the 12-round distance on 2 occasions has Murat Gassiev. So it's nothing new for him. Dorticos has yet to go the 12-round distance, despite competing in his third scheduled 12-rounder tonight. Gassiev peering up, almost trying to peer through his eyebrows, keeping his chin tucked on his chest. He's breathing through an open mouth as he's on the back foot, but his movement still appearing sharp. He's still appearing alert in there. Dorticos measuring his man with a jab and then following up with that vaunted right cross. But it's Gassiev who is constantly taking the long route around the boxing ring, back almost always on the strands, such as the incessant pressure that's being exerted by Dorticos, currently pistoning out a pumping left jab. Falls short with the right hand, countered by a short-armed right upstairs from Dorticos immediately. And look at the leverage Dorticos is putting behind that right hand. The crowd here raising the decibel level in an effort to inspire Dorticos, who has just eaten a few jabs. He gets on his toes to put himself beyond punching range. But Dorticos going about his work with serious intent, constantly stalking his man, walking him down, closing the distance, and looking to land those long-arm straight shots. This could well be a contest to see who cracks first, as Gassiev again with a right hook around the corner. Dorticos still looking for that right cross. There's a good right hand to the body, which drops the arms of Gassiev as he protects his ribcage. Fantastic action in the third.
If you close it off, it can be a lot better off.
Una buena. 1-2, fuga al hígado. Al hígado. 1-2, abajo. Abre mucho.
Mueve el tronco, lo tira abajo. Mantén tu mano adelante. Tu mano adelante es clave. Se le está metiendo flinteado y recoge rápido la mano izquierda.
Yes.
Okay.
Gassiev still targeting that hook around the corner, but Dorticos continuing to back his man up behind straight punches. Triple jab success from the KO doctor. He was always on the front foot. So into the fourth round we go. The shaven-headed figure that left the blue corner of Yuniel Dorticos is his chief trainer, Eddie Castellano. And he achieved a bit of internet infamy when a video went viral when he was chinned by Dorticos during a pad session. Dorticos landed a right hand to the body, followed up with a left hook upstairs that Castellano wasn't ready for, and as a result, he was stretched on the canvas. Dorticos showed concern. Castellano played it off, said it's just the second time he's been knocked out in his career. First time was in kickboxing, where he was a former competitor. But he said the most important thing is that the progression and development of Dorticos continued during the course of the camp with a set-up shop in Miami. Dorticos backing Gassiev to the corner once again. And he's having success with that straight right hand through the middle. Phlegmatic expression on the face of Gassiev, but he's constantly being backed up. And remember, in the event that this contest did go the distance, as he holds his feet and lands a two-shot salvo to the body, effective aggression is a quality that American judges favor. We've got 2 American judges of the 3 judges scoring the contest in the conventional fashion. Remember, there is a 4th judge in operation here. If the first 3 observers have it as a draw. Good left hook, and again from Gassiev. But my goodness, Dorticos demonstrating an iron chin, because the shots from Gassiev have had no discernible effect whatsoever. He just continues his forward march. Left hook was partially blocked by the glove. The left uppercut, which came through the middle from Gassiev, was a glancing shot. Gassiev bobbing and weaving from the waist. 2-shot salvo to the body from the man in the black trunks. But Dorticos remaining concentrated on his task, continuing to stalk his man with aggressive intent. Nice slip of that left jab from Gassiev, but then he was countered by a left-right combination from Dorticos. Good counter right hand again from Gassiev. Timed that shot wonderfully. Made Dorticos miss, then made him pay with a single shot success. And the incessant forward march of Dorticos slowing just a little bit as Gassiev was able to move his way around the space of center ring, but now he's back towards the confined position of the ropes once again. Exchanging jabs. Left hook is blocked. Dorticos short with a left right, and then came back with a right hand of his own, as did Dorticos. Furious exchange to end that fourth round.
Get him closer to that. Put that little top, man. It's gonna be a lot better, right?
Tira el cacho abajo y sube con el hombre también. Muy bien correcto. Y ya no lo juzga, ¿no? Estamos ganando esta pelea. No te podemos ir con ningún solo.
Antes de la derecha. Pam, pam. Soy de izquierda a derecha.
Él se va creando poquito a poco. Vamos al quinto round. Vamos al quinto round.
Some of the big shots that were landed during the course of that round. Left hook success times 2 from Gassiev, but Dorticos demonstrating no ill effects whatsoever. So into the fifth round then, jolting left jab lands for Dorticos. And this is the round that he said Murat Gassiev would not see the end of yesterday when they came face to face for the final time before the opening bell at yesterday's weigh-in. He said, I'm going to knock him out before the end of the fifth round. He did make a point of thanking the Russian fans and media for giving him such a warm welcome here in Sochi. Both men, given their professionalism, will have trained for a 12-round contest. But what type of tricks will it play on the mind of Dorticos if Gassiev is able to see out the fifth round? Gassiev still getting plenty of leverage on his punches. Spoke with Abel Sanchez, boxing writer, trainer of the year in 2015, winner of the Eddie Futch Award. And he said, who hurts their opponent first could well be a critical factor in this fight, because the confidence of the man who lands the hurtful shot will go through the roof, and the confidence of the man who's on the receiving end will diminish. And it's a right hook, left uppercut success in explosive fashion, landing for Gassiev. But again, Dorticos barely blinking. How many more of these heavy single shots can he absorb from a noted puncher like Gassiev? Explosive salvo once again. Left hook to the body was sunk in just above the belt line. Every success that is enjoyed by Gassiev, cheered enthusiastically. His successes are sharp, explosive shots. Dorticos more languid, but his accuracy just betraying him at the moment. He's still letting his hands go. Just pecking with that right cross. Gassiev nodding in his direction every time he's clipped by a shot, even if he's partially parried by the gloves. Good right uppercut success again from Gassiev, and the right cross that followed wasn't too far away. Thunderous left hook knocked Dorticos sideways. But again, he retains his boxing stance. Is he just losing a little bit of snap from his punches? Good double left jab from Dorticos. And now it's Gassiev onto the front foot. We haven't seen that motion very often during the course of this contest. And he's working with that right hand around the corner and underneath effectively once again. Big left hook lands and a right hand causes Dorticos to become disheveled. And now his fighting instincts and his strength being put to the test. He clinches his man to buy some time. Biggest success of the fight so far enjoyed by Murat Gassiev in the closing stages of that fifth round. Gennady Golovkin applauding enthusiastically from ringside. And it's the constant heavy shelling that Murat Gassiev is unloading during the course of this contest, beginning to have some effect, because for the first time, Dorticos became a little bit unsteady on his legs, losing his boxing stance. But how about that for experience? Realizing that he was in trouble and just bought himself some time by initiating a clinch to allow his head to clear. Here's the view that Eddie Claudio has. The third man up there in the boxing ring. This contest being fought in a terrific spirit so far. And there is the man who has booked his place in the final, the WBC and WBO champ. What is he making of this action so far? So into the 6th round then. I spoke to one of the 2 men to take Murat Gassiev the distance just ahead of this contest. Former WBA and indeed IBF champion Denis Lebedev is seated right behind me here ringside. And I asked him, how do you see this contest? And he said 50-50. Wouldn't be drawn as to which man is going to come out on top. And said a strong argument could be made for either man. Dorticos endured a difficult 5th round, but he's come out fresh in this 6th session before taking an uppercut underneath. Right hook around the corner was blocked by the left glove of Dorticos, and he's still continuing to rely on that left-right combination. When he won what was then the interim title on the road in Paris against the incredibly strong Yuri Kalenga. Dorticos appeared to be in a similar amount of distress at points during that contest. But he still continued to put faith in that bazooka of a right hand that he possesses, and ultimately produced a 10th round stoppage. But Gassiev is a puncher of a different caliber from the bull-strong Kalenga, and he's demonstrating that punch power and some precise punch picking here. Dorticos being backed up, how effective is he at fighting on the back foot? Remember, all of that experience from the Cuban amateur system. Some terrific names on his ledger from his tenure in the unpaid code. Represented Cuba all over the world. Said that he's fought in Russia on 6 occasions and has always come out on top. He said tonight's going to be no different. But Gassiev is proving to be an obdurate opponent. He's now having success with a jab. Big left hook, causing Dorticos to back up. Dorticos now just a little bit more weary of the punching power of Gassiev. And Gassiev beginning to get to work with the jab and continuing to back that up with the bent arm shots that have been so successful for him through this juncture of the contest. Good left jab from Dorticos. Again, the right hand still can't find the mark with it, and that is his Sunday punch. Power from both hands of Gassiev, but the left hook in particular is a terrific shot. Remember, it was a left hand to the body that came behind a disguised left uppercut to the head that finished Krzysztof Wlodarczyk to book Gassiev's place here in the Final 4. Ooh, both men went for big right hands there, but both of them were long. And again, the left glove of Gassiev doing an effective job blocking the right hand of Dorticos. CompuBox numbers favoring this man through that 6th round. Dorticos still going in search of that right cross, but not able to find the range.
Yuniel, estamos en la mitad. We're halfway there. We're halfway there.
Well, Eddie Claudio reminding the 2 boxers that we are halfway there. 6 rounds completed, a scheduled 6 rounds to go. But remember, Yuniel Dorticos has never been the 12-round championship course. to this point in his professional career, competing in his 23rd bout tonight. And the furthest he has been is forcing that stoppage in the 10th round of the aforementioned Yuri Kalenga, when he won what was then the interim WBA title. He was upgraded to full champion when Babut Shumanov was forced to retire from the sport with an eye injury. He's now the sole WBA champion, because on Thursday, the WBA announced that Denis Lebedev, seated just behind me here in Sochi, is now the WBA champion in recess. That's a good left hand to the body. It landed on the belt line, and it visibly bent Dorticos over to his right like an accordion. But he gets back into his boxing stance once again. But in stark contrast to the earlier rounds, where Gassiev was spending the majority of the 3-minute sessions with his back on or close to the ropes, now the action is taking place in center ring, and Dorticos unable to back the man up. Another hard shoot, two-shot salvo downstairs. Tempted right hand, trying to penetrate the guard of Gassiev once again from Dorticos, but still not able to find the mark with that shot. Right-left success for Dorticos, who takes a good double left jab from Gassiev. Both men will be wary of the other one's power. And these the type of fighters who are dangerous as long as they are on their feet. Both men possess fight-ending power in either fist. Can be dangerous with their backs to the wall as well. Oh, that's a cracking right hook from Gassiev. Moves off to his right, and he's demonstrating wonderful patience here tonight. But punch resistance, remember, it can be like water on a rock. The shots that seemingly have no effect earlier on, all of a sudden the same shot or a lesser shot can just cause a fighter to crumble, and Dorticos has taken an awful lot of shots flush on that chin tonight. After his victory over Dmitry Kudryashov in the semi-final of the World Boxing Super Series, welcomed a newborn son into his family. He said that he hopes his son doesn't follow him into this line of work, because this is a hard profession, but it's what he's best at, it's what he does to provide for his family, and now he's in pursuit of cruiserweight glory in the final of the Muhammad Ali Trophy. 7th round in the book.
This is what you show me. You show everybody here that you want to start. Okay? This is where it is right here. 8th round. This is the 8th round. Okay? Every round. Every round. Okay? That means to me there's no resting in there. You're working consistently.
Terrific shot to the body from Gassiev. Again, Dorticos keeps on coming, scoring with jabs. From my vantage point here ringside, the heavier shots like that flashing right hook are coming from Murat Gassiev.
We're in the 8th round. Let's go.
So the road to Jeddah continues here in this second cruiserweight semi-final of the World Boxing Super Series. Abel Sanchez telling Murat Gassiev that this is it right here. There's the next installment as we drop down to the 168-pound super middleweight division. An all-British domestic dust-up, continuing the long rich tradition in that weight class. But it's got global ramifications, because the winner between Chris Eubank, the IBO champion, and George Groves, the WBA champion, will progress through to the final of the Muhammad Ali Trophy in this inaugural season of the World Boxing Super Series. Murat Gassiev teamed up with Abel Sanchez after 17 fights as a professional. And he said that the adjustment, Abel Sanchez was telling me this yesterday, that the adaptation and adjustment was instant. He said usually it takes a couple of fights for the fighters to buy in to his system. Right hand to the body was just a little bit long, but that was a wonderful counter left jab in response from Dorticos. But he said with Gassiev, he brought his work ethic and an open mind and bought into the system immediately. Good left hook from Gassiev, right hand in response from Dorticos. But Abel Sanchez did concede that because of his track record in the game, training Terry Norris, all in Norris. So many world champions. Gassiev is 14th world champion. That the buy-in from Gassiev was immediate. And now that he's become champion, he said that his responsibility level has increased because now he's got something to lose. And that something is the thing that he has worked for so long. Started boxing at around the age of 15 after playing football and doing wrestling in his native Vladikavkaz. He said that fighting in that part of the world is as natural as eating. You eat 3 times a day, you fight 3 times a day, and then go and play football or some other sports with the friend that you've just been fighting with. Here, he's fighting to try and gain cruiserweight unification by taking the WBA belt of the KO Dr. Yuniel Dorticos. Dorticos defected from Cuba in 2009. It's been a rather sporadic professional career to this point. He's had a couple of lengthy absences. One fight in 2017 when he booked his place in that Final Four in the semi-final. That was the same number of fights last year for Gassiev as well. Gassiev just perhaps taking a little bit of a breather in that round. Dorticos trying to get busy and close the distance on his man again. The two fighters exchange jabs and punch right up into the bell to conclude that 8th round. Well, look at that for punches landed through 8 completed rounds of action. Very little in it. But for my money, the eye-catching singles have come from Gassiev. Let's listen in to the instructions from Abel Sanchez. So into the 9th round we go. Not sure how many people anticipated this contest would arrive at this point. 2 devastating knockout artists of this caliber were drawn to share the boxing ring together. But we're deep into this bout now. Each man respectful and wary of the other one's power. Gassiev has landed some of his shots flush through rounds 2 through 6. He really got to work with hooks and uppercuts. Dorticos got back on the front foot. So a little bit more effect, positive effect from his perspective in the 8th round. The CompuBox numbers suggested that both men have landed a similar amount of punches. It was 88 to 80 in favor of Gassiev, according to that particular barometer. Good left uppercut from Gassiev once again, continuing to find holes in the attempted defenses of Yuniel Dorticos, and then crashes a 3-shot salvo behind the gloves of Dorticos once again. But Dorticos keeps on plodding forwards. Can he inject a change in tempo? Because at this type of tempo, it's Gassiev who appears incredibly comfortable. Remaining patient, remaining poised is Gassiev onto the front foot, walking Dorticos backwards. Is Dorticos trying to set a trap for the shot that he just launched just there? Trying the same right hand once again. And make no mistake, he'll continue to throw it for as long as he is on his feet. Good explosive burst of punches once again, ending with a left hook to the body and a left uppercut through the middle, ends a 2-shot salvo produced by Gassiev. Body punches favoring Gassiev more than 2 to 1. That left hook to the body jackknife Dorticos once again. And his punches looking more languid than usual. And he takes a left hook, left uppercut, left hook from Gassiev. And then a right uppercut through the middle. Still the poker-faced expression from Yuniel Dorticos. But is the steam, or how much steam is being taken out of him? How much is his energy tank being depleted by these big shots that are landing from Murat Gassiev? He's still looking for that right hand, but again, it was blocked effectively by the gloves of Murat Gassiev, who's boxing principally with his hands by his pecs. But he's got a terrific GPS system, an early radar system that allows him to see these shots from Dorticos coming at the two men looking to exchange in the closing stages of this ninth round. Terrific action once more.
People are going to sleep, you just woke them up a little bit. Let's wake them up for the rest of the round, okay? That's how I want you to do it. But the last part of the round is the most important part. Don't let them win the last part of the round. I want all of the rounds, okay?
Left hand success
I'm fine. Thank you for asking. Seconds
from Murat Gassiev. So into the 10th round we go then. Murat Gassiev, you see that word, iron, emblazoned across the waistband of his shorts. Many people thought that was in homage to a certain Michael Gerard Tyson, still the youngest heavyweight champion there has ever been. But it's Ossetian, pronounced Iran, which means a person from Ossetia. Proud patriot of that region in southeast Russia, in the foothills of the Caucasus Mountains. Sits on the Terek River. That is why he wears that word embossed across his waistband, letting everybody know where he is from. Dorticos boxing on the back foot here. Right hand was another bomb detonated on the chin of Dorticos from Gassiev. Gassiev trying to increase the tempo here, firing a big left uppercut which missed, but the follow-up right hand didn't, because Dorticos had nowhere to go. He was pinned to the ropes. Gassiev success with a left jab. And Dorticos, the KO doctor, becoming a back foot operator here. Perhaps sensing that, he tries to change the tempo, moves himself to center ring, but still not able to come forward with the type of purpose he demonstrated early on in the contest. Gassiev in punching range, bobbing and weaving in front of his man, active with his hands. Punches through round 10 again, favoring Gassiev more than 2-1. Oh, that's a big left hook once again. Dorticos took it well, but only to be tagged by the same shot from a different angle. Right hand this time. As Gassiev continuing to have success with singles. Here he doubles up the left hand and then follows up with another left uppercut. My goodness, what is keeping Yuniel Dorticos up? How much more of this type of punishment can he withstand? His punch output is decreasing. Gassiev waving the man in, and he gets through with a good right hand. And this has got to be somewhat dispiriting for Gassiev. He's got to keep his mind on the job here as he swivels Dorticos' head once more with a ripping right uppercut through the middle. But concentration going to have to be absolute for Gassiev. Normally when people absorb those punches, they take a trip to the canvas or indeed out of the fight. But Dorticos proving impossible to discourage. Remember Kevin Rooney and Mike Tyson and Andre Ward and Virgil Hunter talk about a large part of absorbing punishment is mental, simply refusing to be hurt or stunned by the punches that come in your direction. Yuniel Dorticos demonstrating that quality in spades here tonight, finishing with a furious this exchange against Murat Gassiev.
What round is this? What round? What round? Okay. I want these two just like the last one, okay? You have to be first and not let him work. He's exhausted.
He's gone.
He's finished, but you gotta be close.
You gotta be close to him.
You cannot be far. You gotta be right on top of his ass, all right?
Touch him, both hands.
Even if it's not a hard shot, just
Seis minutos para romper el culo.
the whole round.
Okay, coach.
So a rather tardy exit from Eric Castaño to begin this 11th round, and for the first time in his professional boxing career, Yuniel Dorticos finds himself in the championship rounds. His prediction of a stoppage before the end of the 5th has come and gone. Gassiev continuing to tattoo him with impressive eye-catching singles, as cries of Russia, Russia reverberating all around the Bolshoi Ice Dome here. Dorticos still in there, and as we've been at pains to point out, as long as he's in there, he is dangerous. Abel Sanchez was keen to make that point to Murat Gassiev as well. Gassiev receiving his instructions from Abel Sanchez in English, being translated in Russian. Gassiev learned to speak English during his time at camp in Big Bit with Abel Sanchez, and that right hand rocked Dorticos sideways. And the punches are beginning to have an effect now, because they're shaking Dorticos down to his boots, but he's still continuing to poke out languid punches. He's one of those going to be touted over the top explosively by Gassiev, who is retaining his speed much more effectively. But still, the spirit of Dorticos remaining intact, still going in search of the knockout from that fearsome right cross. Oh, good right hand to the body once again from Gassiev, but then he's pinned to the ropes and takes a hard 1-2 from the KO doctor, nudging uppercuts on the inside. Gassiev now adopting the position that he did for most of the first, and indeed a couple of the early rounds, on the back foot, close to the ropes. Dorticos still closing down his man, and perhaps sensing that their man may be slowing just a little bit, but he's fighting effectively off the strands, is Gassiev. The crowd raising their support level once again. Good double left hand, was an uppercut through the middle, but look at the speed on the salvo in response from Dorticos. Oh, terrific combination! Left uppercut, right hook, and all of a sudden Dorticos is keen to hold on, draping all over his man like a bat suit. Pinned him over the ropes, has his head cleared. Gassiev, will he go looking for the finish with 20 seconds to go in the penultimate round? Biggest crisis of Dorticos' career to this point, rocked down to his boots by a terrific combination from Gassiev. He's firing back in the closing seconds. The 10-second clapper, barely audible here. Both men in the pocket, in the firing line. Another left uppercut from Gassiev. Dorticos engaging in an exchange as the men continue to punch right up until the final bell of that 11th round, which wasn't audible. Such is the atmosphere here in the Bolshoi Ice Dome. Terrific action through 11 completed rounds.
3 минуты, отдай 3 минуты, но с умом, не бросайся, работай. You understand? 3 minutes. 3 минуты работай. Прояви свое сердце. I want 3 minutes.
Well, that was the left uppercut followed by the right hook that just caused Dorticos to stumble around the boxing ring, and look at his fighting instincts come to the fore once again, draping his man up, anything to prevent himself taking a trip to the canvas.
I need this round just like that.
And fighters in great condition, well, they often only need a few seconds for their head to clear and for them to get back on an even keel, but that left uppercut was a beauty.
This is the 12th and final
So to the 12th and final round we go. It's been a terrific contest to this point. For what it's worth, I've got Murat Gassiev leading, but this could well come down to the verdict of the 3 scoring judges: Steve Weisfeld from New Jersey, Robert Hoyle from Las Vegas, Nevada, and Pavel Kardini from Poland. I don't think the 4th judge, George Milka of Germany, is going to be needed in this one. Because for my money, it's Gassiev who has the upper hand in this contest. But Dorticos, remember, still a danger man. And as long as he's within reach, Gassiev and indeed Dorticos, both men in the danger zone of their opponent. Minute gone in the 12th and final round. Surely Dorticos needs a stoppage here. Both men going for left hooks. Arcing left hook is a successful shot for Gassiev. Trying that same uppercut once again, but was short of the mark. Dorticos getting onto the front foot, trying to close down his man behind that left jab. Right hand lead fight, but there was nothing on it from Dorticos. He's really been slowed up by the heavy leather he's absorbed, such as that right hand bomb from Gassiev. Gassiev with a double jab success, and he goes in search of Dorticos once again. Oh my goodness! A single left hook has sent Dorticos down to the canvas. Referee Eddie Claudio issuing the mandatory 8 count. Dorticos has beaten the count. He's still got a minute to survive. And there's pandemonium here ringside. Time in called once again. A minute for Dorticos to survive, but he's under heavy pressure and in real trouble. Knocked down for the 2nd time in the round and the 2nd time in the fight. He gamely gets back to his feet, but I don't think he's got anything left. Eddie Claudio issuing the mandatory 8 count. Dorticos walks back out into the fray, takes another right hand from Gassiev. Gassiev going in for the finish, sensing blood. And Dorticos weaving all over the place. His legs about as sturdy as wet noodles right now. He can barely hold his boxing stance. Gassiev looking to take him out with one big shot. The 3 knockdown rule not in effect. But Dorticos is being punched to a standstill. Eddie Claudio keeping a close eye on the proceedings, and he is knocked through the ropes. And Eddie Claudio calls it off immediately. Murat Gassiev is the new unified cruiserweight champion of the world, having scored a dramatic 12th round knockout over the KO Doctor. The KO Doctor had been given a dose of his own medicine from the furious, unrelenting fists of Murat Gassiev, who extends his perfect undefeated record to book his place in the final of the World Boxing Super Series. He is now the unified WBA and IBF Cruiserweight Champion of the world, courtesy of a 12th round stoppage over the...
A él le van a dar otro. Es usted.
Let's take a big team picture, everybody. Yeah. Let's go to the equipo, let's go, all the team. Dale, Valerio. Yeah, every team. That's the one. Hey, we'll take the team picture, both teams picture. Yeah. Brian, you just represent it.
2 big team, guys.
Viva Cuba, viva Rusia. Viva Cuba, viva Rusia. Abre.